Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, South Sudanese all over the world. How are you? With the situation that are happening in the country, we are all in a very crucial time as South Sudanese. Whether you support Salva Kiir, whether you don't support Salva Kiir, we are all ashamed. Whether you are a Salva Kiir supporter, whether you are not Salva Kiir supporter, Salva Kiir have embarrassed the whole citizen of South Sudan. And that's what I said when he was going. I said we are waiting for another embarrassment. And the embarrassment of yesterday and also the embarrassment of today, they are more than even the other embarrassment that he used to do before. In the meeting of yesterday, the first embarrassment was he was denied to talk. Why? Because he did not pay the fees of African Union. Every country is supposed to pay fees as a member of African Union. But Salva Kiir have not been paying his bills, his fees. So yesterday he was denied the mic. He was denied to talk until the finance minister had to go and clear the bills. The finance minister had to go and clear the bills so that Salva Kiir could be given a mic to talk. So that's what happened yesterday, the first thing that happened yesterday. And after he was given now the mic to talk, after he was given the mic to talk, nobody was bothering about what he was saying. He was reading like a class 1 student, and some people were laughing, people were moving around. Everybody was busy with their members. Nobody was caring about it. It was like nobody was talking. They were like, maybe it was just a child, maybe reading. And you could see a dude was crying. You see a dude was crying. She was so annoyed. She was so ashamed. She couldn't believe this is what can come out of her father. And imagine. So where do we get the energy? Or those who support Salva Kiir, where do you get the energy to continue ashaming the name of our beautiful country, South Sudan? Imagine everybody is talking about it in the whole world. His videos are all over. People are talking about it, that this is a president that is leading people. Imagine they're asking South Sudanese, where do you get the energy? Where do you get the energy? How can such a person become your president? So that's how our brains, everybody think like our brain is like the brain of Salva Kiir. They don't know actually there are people that have almost 1,000 plus, that their IQ is almost 1,000 plus in South Sudan. So that is the first very funny thing that I wanted to bring into your attention. That's happened yesterday. Today, when the president was moving to the C5 meeting, because five countries were selected, and these 5 countries are the ones that are dealing with the case of South Sudan, and they were the ones that attended the C5 meeting, these 5 countries, and the South Sudanese that were involved, the president was involved, his whole team was involved, but when they were moving toward the C5 room, when they were going to the C5 room, we will see a video whereby President Kiir could not manage to move. And you see his office director, Akol, was laughing at him first. Akol was laughing at him. He could not manage to control his laughter. So Akol was laughing at him first, and then he remembered, oh, the person is laughing at is a president, is on the media. And you also see the security ahead of him. The security ahead of him, you will see the movement of the eyes of the security ahead of him saying, please relax, remove the video, remove the cameras. You will see, I shared the video already on my timeline. You will see the video. So all those movements, and you will see everybody that was around him. People are tired, the movement and everything. You see their bodies are so tired, they're so paining, they're so ashamed. And that is what you get when you support a president like Salva Kiir, a dictator that is already sick, is supposed to be in the hospital, but he doesn't want to accept that he's not feeling okay, that he's supposed to go to the hospital. So that is the whole world. What actually hurts me since yesterday, I've been really hurting. Since yesterday, today, I've been hurting because as much as we are not happy. As much as whatever is happening. But this is somebody that representing South Sudan. You know, this is somebody that is representing South Sudan. And that's where all of us get involved. You are a South Sudanese. What unites all of us is South Sudan. And our country is being shamed. That documentary, that video will not leave the media. That video will be there forever. That video is going to be there for a very long time. So anytime we say, they will always remind us, this is the president. This is the first president you had. So it's our country. That's what all of us are involved. If it was something to do with an enterprise for Salva Kiir, he can embarrass his family for as much as we care. But this is South Sudan we are talking about. This is our own country. This is our own country. And some people are saying I should show, because they think I'm lying. They say I should show the video. So let me show the video. They think I'm lying. Somebody like Deng Ateng is saying I should show the video. So let me show you the video. Let me show you the video. Oh, let me show you the video. You think I'm lying? See a call laughing there. See this other guy. Everybody's so tired, you know. Everybody's so tired. That is how the president is moving. Everybody's so tired. Somewhere that he can use like 1 minute to move, he's using like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And there was actually a voice. Let me try to play the voice because somebody was actually speaking here. It was a guy from Nigeria who actually recorded this. And he was speaking here and he was asking South Sudanese, how can such a person become your president? So to attend, you think I'm lying, this is the video, and you can go to my timeline and you see the video. I share the video on my timeline and you will go and see every details about the video. So this is the kind of embarrassment we are getting as South Sudanese. This is the kind of embarrassment we are receiving from a president we call a president of a country. When it's come to walking, he cannot manage to walk. When he come to talking, he read like a class 1 or maybe a nursery child. So where are we heading as a country? If such a person is the one leading millions of people, then that means we really don't know. I wish, let me play again because I would really love you to hear the words. I would really love you to hear the words that are coming out from this guy's mouth. It's very important. It's very important that you hear.
President. These guys are going to meet to discuss African issues, but the person walking, who is a South Sudan president, is already an issue to the country. He cannot even walk. He cannot do anything. And so I'm asking all of you, this man going to sit at the summit, what is he going to bring to the table? Somebody who cannot even walk, having health issues, and the most painful part is, this is somebody who is leading millions of populations, our dear South Sudan people. This is the person leading them. A country already facing security challenges. So look at the person leading them. Guys, it is sad though. It is sad for Africa. How can this country move forward with people like this? Africa, what is wrong with us? Guys, let me know your view. It's very sad though. Same nonsense is happening in Uganda. The same nonsense is happening in Uganda. It's very sad for Africa.
So, did you hear that voice? That voice is not my voice. This voice is a guy from Nigeria that is so pained with what is happening in South Sudan. He's so pained with what is happening in South Sudan. And he's like, how can such a person lead millions of people? And he's asking, what is wrong with us Africans? So I'm here asking, what is wrong with us South Sudanese? Where do you get the energy to put on a suit, put on a perfume, and put on a tie, and move behind such a person? Where do you get that energy? Where? That was the question I was asking. Where do you get such energy? You saw a call, his office director was laughing at him because he could not manage. The office manager, that guy called a call, was laughing. First he laughed because I think he forgot this is the president, and he was laughing. And when he realized, no, this is the president, and then he kept quiet. And the other guy leading was showing the president, no, like he was telling the media, please don't capture it. So they are trying to hide a lot of things. Up to now, we are still waiting for the C5 videos because the office of the president doesn't give us any information. They hide everything. So we are waiting for the videos of the C5 meetings to arrive. So, and they will come to the public. You cannot hide when in the eyes of the media. The media, that is their job, to bring every embarrassment to the media. Imagine such our president, he's going to sit down with Vice Prime Minister of Ethiopia, who was launching a university of AI. Somebody went there to launch a university of AI, but he was going to tell people about, no, we'd have to keep peace in Africa. Which peace? And you don't practice it in your own country. Which peace? You are appointing people that are already sanctioned in your government, and you expect, like, you want to talk to president who knows what is supposed to be done to their own people. It's a shame even to those leaders. It's a shame even to those leaders. And I was telling people, listening to promises of Salva Kiir is like having a Wi-Fi where there's no electricity in darkness and you expect your Wi-Fi to work. It will not work. They're talking about election. The people are in the bushes. The people they are expecting to vote, they're in the bush. They don't even know who will survive, who is alive, who is dead. They don't know. And they're talking about election. And I was asking myself, are they speaking about the same country called South Sudan? Or they're speaking about a different country? Because if they're talking about election, where are the voters? The voters are in the bush. Are they going to vote in the bush? Or where will the voters vote? Because the voters we are talking about are all Jonglei is in the bush. So who will vote? Or people that are in Juba are the only ones that are going to vote. And everybody, including the African Union leaders, are talking about election. I saw the statement of the president of Kenya. He was saying that they are helping South Sudan to go to peaceful election. Which election? The voters, do they even ask themselves, where are the voters? Where are the voters that are going to vote? The voters are dying of anger. They are dying of gunshot. They are being killed by the same president that is lying to them, that is going to release the political detainees and they will go back to peace. You see these things. Listening to Salva is like listening to a hyena. You keep a hyena in your house with goats and you expect to come and get your goats there. They will not. They will be eaten by that hyena. That is a very good example of Salva. Like leaving your goats inside a room together with hyenas. He will eat your goats. You will not find them. So that's the same example that we can use with Salva. They are talking about election. Where are the voters? The voters are in the bush. The voters are dying of anger. The voters are also being thrown into River Nile. If you try to speak up, they are thrown into the River Nile. So it's so funny, everything that is happening. It's really so funny. You see, today, I want to take you through the C5. The 39 AU session official concluded today, on Sunday, February 15th, in Addis Ababa. The closing statement and final resolution have set a very specific high-pressure timeline for South Sudan. The AU has moved from making suggestions to issuing a mandate for action. Here is the financial timeline and the key decision made today. The Pretorial political retreat timeline set. President Salva Kiir and the C5 have agreed on the following for the Pretorial retreat. The window. The retreat is scheduled to take place in late March 2026. The goal of the retreat. This is not just a meeting. The AU is calling it an implementation summit. The parties must reach a final consensus on the census, voters registration. But which voters are they going to register? The voters are in the bush. Will they be registered in the bush? I don't know. And the unification of the forces before they return to Juba. Participation, the AU has requested that the first Vice President, Dr. Riek Machar, and other key opposition leaders be allowed to travel to South Africa to ensure the results are binding for all sides. The non-negotiable election date. The summit confirmed today that the AU will not support any further extension to the transition period. So no more transition period. December 2026, this is the firm deadline for the general election. February 2027, this is the absolute end of the current transitional government. The AU states that the status quo of continuous extension is no longer acceptable to the continent. It's no longer about South Sudan problem now. No. South Sudan problem have become now the continent problem. And that's why you're seeing everybody is talking about. A lady from Gambia is talking about. A guy from Kenya is talking about. A guy from Nigeria is talking about. Somebody from Ethiopia is talking about. And the old TikTok, the old Facebook, everybody, all the news, they are talking about South Sudan. It is no longer South Sudan problem. It is a continent problem. So our problem is now a continent problem. It is no longer so the decision doesn't lie in the hands of President Kiir or in the hands of the Vice President, Dr. Riek. The decision now lies in the hands of the African Union, the IGAD, and the international community. And there's no more issuing. It is order. That is it. So the appointment of the AU High Representative, the chairperson of the AU Commission, Mohammed Ali Yusuf, announced today that the appointment of a high-level representative for South Sudan is in the final stage. It's in the final stage, and the mandate, this representative will be stationed in the region starting March 2026. So there are going to be a person assigned for South Sudan. There are going to be a person that is assigned for South Sudan to specifically just deal with the things to do with South Sudan. It is no longer the president of South Sudan to make decision. It is no longer the first vice president of South Sudan to make decision. But there are a person that is assigned to deal with this. So South Sudan problem now is a continent problem. It is no longer a country level problem. It is a continent problem, and there's no issue. There's no issuing statement. You will not hear again that they are saying, please go back to peace agreement. That thing have finished. There's no more issuing. Now it's time for action. And to oversee the transitional to the Pretoria retreat and to mediate the security flow-ups currently seen in Jonglei. Local oversight. They will work alongside Ambassador Aduel Ali, head of the AU mission in South Sudan, to provide a heavyweight. You hear that? To provide a heavyweight political presence that can talk directly to the generals on the ground. So nobody, it is now, there will be people appointed to talk direct to the generals. Salva Kiir will not be talking to generals anymore on his own context. But these people, they will not be getting information direct from Riek Machar. They will not be getting direct from Salva Kiir. They will now go direct to talk to generals. They go to the generals. They go to the people. They go to the political parties. That is how it's going to be. Nobody again will trust what Salva Kiir is saying or what the first vice president is saying. They're not going to listen to them anymore. That team is going to go to the ground and talk. And this team is called the heavyweight team. So this heavyweight team will be the one to go direct to the ground to talk maybe with General Garwich Dual, to talk maybe with somebody like Paul Nang, to talk direct with somebody like General Dili DG. So these are the people they will talk with. So when you think that I told you yesterday that the resolution that is going to come out from this C5 meeting is not any normal thing, like the usual talk, and people will say Salva Kiir will do this and that. And that's why Makwelwas and the team were flown at almost last minute last night to make sure they go to Addis Ababa and help the president to make decision. So whether Salva Kiir like it or not, this team are already put there, and they are going to do their work without asking permission from President Kiir, without asking permission from the first vice president, because it is no longer South Sudan problem, it is a continent problem, and the continent have a mandate already confirmed to go do their work to the ground. They will go to Jonglei, they will go to every part of South Sudan, going to talk to generals. So local oversight, they will work alongside, oh, that one I already said. Then immediate security mandate, Jonglei and Upper Nile, because of the recent clashes in Walgak and Paidoy, which I think it's not Padoy, this is, and Padoy. The AU issue a specific directive today. Permanent ceasefire in immediate demand for the SSPDF and SPLA-IO to return to their respective cantonment sites, protection of the civilians. The AU reminded the South Sudanese government that as the AU handover continue, like the Malakal POC transitions, the government is now legally responsible under AU law for the safety of those population. South Sudanese 2026 roadmap post-summit, expected action, February 2026, appointment of the AUI representative, March 26, high-level political retreat in Pretoria, and then completion of the unification forces. That will be in May. By May, all the unified forces must be put together by May. Remember, this is nothing to do with, they were not going to negotiate with anybody. They will go to the ground and talk to these people on the ground. They will not consult anyone because they don't consider these two leaders anymore. So finalization of the constituency boundaries, that will be in December 2026. And then when we talk about general election, I don't know where it has been put. So that is the results of the C5 meetings. But the president office did not write all these details. Why? Because they are trying to hide it, but the world is bringing it. The media is giving it to us, and soon they are going to give us the videos. The videos will come. We'll share them on the page. So this is the result of the C5. So we South Sudanese now belong to the continent. We don't belong to these leaders. And that's why I was asking people, how do people get the energy of supporting Salva Kiir after all the things he's doing? So that is what I wanted to update you about the C5 resolution. It is a continent problem. It is no longer a South Sudanese problem, but our problem is now a continent problem. And the whole world want to make sure this dying of South Sudanese, burning them alive with chemical weapons that come from Uganda. Helicopters, they are taking their own money to give to Uganda so that they can come and kill us. Then this now is between the continent and the people that are killing us. This is not AI, Madut. You think things have changed. This is not the Salva Kiir decision room anymore. Gen Council of Elders are nowhere to be seen. Did you even see them talking about the Gen Council Elders of? No. So these things have nothing to do with AI. This is what is happening on the ground. And I told you yesterday, the coming out of all the resolution is going to be, as I'm telling you, there's a retreat that is going to happen. And Salva Kiir is going to remove Dr. Riek, and they will go, all of them, to South Africa for a retreat. That will happen. So whoever is still thinking that this is AI, Anyway, you can even go to Addis Ababa now and study AI school. There's a university that is being launched in Addis Ababa for AI. That is how serious AI is. The world is going into digital. It's digitalization, and we're all going to that. So when you're still thinking that this is AI, continue sleeping. This is not AI. I told you yesterday, and the video is going to come out. The video is going to come out, and there's nothing people can do. There is nothing people can do. So that is it. So let me finalize with something very important that I want to condemn. There is something that I want to condemn, and I wanted to condemn in this unity state. Something very, very dangerous, very bad happened in unity state, and I'm here to condemn it with every energy that I have. The governor of a place called Kweke or something like that, Payam, some youths went to the ground. They went to that side of the Dinka side, and they took some cows. There was a cattle riding that happened. And that cattle riding, when the commissioner picked some suspect, because they are not confirmed, people that he was suspecting, he picked 4 boys, and two of the boys, he called the commissioner, or he called of that other side of the Dinka land, and he told him the people that took the cows are here, and he sent these 2 boys to that commissioner, and the 2 boys were fire squad. There is something that I want to understand, South Sudanese. There is something that I want to understand. How does the law move in the system of Salva Kiir government? How come a commissioner send some human beings to be fire squad from county to county, from state to state, and the governor of the state is not aware on this side, and the governor of the state is not aware on the other side? That means the 2 governors are aware of what is happening, and that means these people are not for the citizen of South Sudan. No. There's no way you will pick people from this state, take to the other state to be fire squad. Where did that come from? Which agreement do the Warab state and the unity state have? Which agreement did these 2? We need to see that agreement that they put in place. That, and this law, I was asking people, why is law working on one side? Why is law working on one side? I am not supporting anybody going to do cattle riding. I'm always against cattle riding. I'm always against cattle riding. I'm always against cattle riding. But there's no way when the Nuer of Unity State go and take cows, their cows will be returned back. And when the Dinka comes and take the cows from this other side, their cows, they don't bring those cows back to the governor of Unity State. Why is law happening on one side? Why is law happening to your people and the law is not also acting on the other side? That means there's no law. And what are you buying from those people? What are you buying from them? What are you buying from them? Because this is not justice. That is not justice, and I condemned it with every spirit I have. I condemned it, and I condemned it, and the commissioner that committed this crime, the commissioner that gave these boys away to be fire squad, need to be arrested with immediate effect. The commission need to be arrested and put in prison, and let the law act on him. And also the governor of Unity State need to be questioned. How can he take children to the other side to be fire squad? Which agreement do they have between the 2 states? We want to see that agreement. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with that. That is not right. That is not right. And then I also welcome the call from the UN of going back to to protecting the citizen of South Sudan. You're highly welcome back, because South Sudanese need to be protected. The leaders of South Sudan have forgot that South Sudanese need protection, and welcome back and protect the people of South Sudan. And you will see also unity state is in water. Unity state is in water. They need the roads to be built, at least so that, because that road is becoming narrow, it's being weakened by the water every single day. So we need that road to be more built. So to all South Sudanese, please, it's high time you take the responsibility of your country into your own hands. South Sudan is your responsibility. Salva Kiir will go tomorrow. Dr. Riek will go tomorrow. But all of us will remain in South Sudan. I will die, you will die, but South Sudan will remain behind. South Sudan will remain behind, but we have to make sure we fix the country so that this tribalism, this chaos, all these problems that are happening, we don't push it back to we don't carry it to the next generation. The next generation should get a country that is well built, and I hope everything that have been said will be for the goodness of the people of South Sudan. But nothing will not work if we South Sudanese are not involved. Nothing will not work when we are not cooperating as South Sudanese with all the laws, because it's us to implement it. It's us to make it happen. And to the African Union and the IGAD and the international community and everybody, the voters you're talking about election are in the bush, especially the jungle. They are all in the bush. And the voters are dead. Some of them are in the hospital. Some of them are suffering. The most important thing we need in the country is reconciliation. We need reconciliation. We need food in the country. There are priorities. Before we talk about election, we have to save these voters. That is the first thing that needs to be done. So the reconciliation is the first thing that needs to take lead. After the reconciliation, we cannot talk about election. Because this election, well, how will people vote? In the bush? There's no electricity in the country. There's no roads. How are those even voting papers to be, how will they be transported? Using aeroplanes? And how sure are we going to be that these results are going to be fair? So there's a lot of things to be done, and let's hope as soon as possible everything will go as planned, and God bless South Sudan, viva South Sudan, let peace reign in South Sudan, and long live South Sudan.